That's right. Don't ever stop talking, because that's what I love to do. I love to talk. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a good day. It's going to be a hot one in the city right here of Greenwood, South Carolina. But we welcome on in everybody, wherever you are. You can always stream us right there at WCRS 1450am.net. That's WCRS 1450am.net. Whew, well, the world is spinning on its axis, that is for sure. It's about 79 degrees right here in Greenwood. We're looking for a high right around 89 degrees. And so we're going to have some sunshine, then cool off a little bit this afternoon. If you're just joining us, that is today's weather. All right, so what did I do yesterday? Well, we had a good day yesterday. Last night, went to see the John Wilt movie, Ballerina. Oh, my God, what a movie. I'm telling you what, if you like a lot of action, and if you are for girl power, Fight Like a Girl never meant so much as it did last night, let me tell you. This was from the beginning of the movie. It took a little bit. It was a little hard to get to in the beginning of the movie to understand whose daughter, because there is a daughter, there's these small children who grow up, etc. So, but once you got into the movie and could see where it was going, oh my God. And this idea, well, I don't want to spoil it, but there's these contracts on people, and they have this source, a international office that puts contracts out on people. It's frightening. It's frightening. I'd be afraid there'd be one on me. Anyways, this Fight Like a Girl, something to remember. If you go to this movie, you will see a girl doing amazing fighting. So that's all I'm going to say about the movie. But I really liked it. It's a high action, high powered movie. And FYI, if you think that that's the last one, at the end of the movie, I'll just tell you, there's going to be another. This series continues. All right, I'm Ann Eller right here with you this morning. That was on the movie Ballerina. So let's jump right in and start talking on some of the issues out there. One of the things I wanted to talk about here this morning is President Trump came home last night from the G7. They were meeting in Canada, and he left and came home. That was early from the meeting, saying that he needed to get back and to be, I guess, in the Situation Room and check out how things are progressing. How much does the U.S. need to get involved in Israel and Iran? So he's coming back. So late last night, I don't know if it was late there, but anyways, I'm watching TV late last night, and the president comes across the tarmac, and he's getting on the plane. He's all by himself coming across. He stops, he waves, he keeps walking. He waves when he gets to the top of the stairs and gets in the plane. Okay. Now, couple of minutes later, nobody probably would even pick up on this. I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes later, Susie Wiles, his chief of staff, and the rest of the lemmings all come across the tarmac and go up the stairs. But it's a good 2 or 3 minutes before they are actually going up. The president is already seated. I don't know, maybe they have a thing. The president is seated. You all may come forward now and climb the stairs to the plane. So I just found that most interesting. I mean, he had a whole crew that was with him there, but Susie Wiles was heading it up as they came across the tarmac, up the stairs, but 3 minutes, probably 2 or 3 minutes anyways, till he was in the plane before they actually came up. All right, so that was one issue. And I wanted to go back, because we were it's been talked about how Russia used to be a member of the G8. Well, now, of course, it's the G7. And Russia was removed from what was then called the G8 in March of 2014 after it annexed Crimea from Ukraine, a clear violation of Ukraine's territorial integrity and international law. Leaders of the original G7 members, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK, and the US, and the EU decided it would no longer hold a summit in Sochi with Russia, effectively suspending Russia's membership. So that was March of 2014. They held a G7 holds an emergency meeting in The Hague and formally suspends Russia's membership. Well, it was June 4th or 5th when the 40th summit is held without Russia in Brussels, making the official transition back to the G7. Well, in January of 2017, Russia declares it is permanently withdrawing from the G8. Took them a while to realize they weren't being invited anymore, I guess. But so that was 2014 when they held the summit without Russia. And then January of 2017, Moscow declares it is permanently withdrawing from the G8. Although it's already been excluded for years. And so the group has remained the G7 ever since through recent debates sparked notably by this year's 2025 G7 summit in Canada, where President Trump has said that proponents like Donald Trump argue it was a mistake to exclude Russia and suggest that keeping it engaged might have prevented the 2022 Ukraine war. However, the majority of the member nations maintain Russia actions in Ukraine are still incompatible with the G7's democratic and rules-based values. So that's what has transpired, and that's why Russia is not part of the it was the G8, now it's the G7. I just thought that was interesting to go back and note that timeline. So evidently it looks like Israel is controlling the situation over there, even though Iran is still sending bombs across. It appears that Israel is in the catbird seat there. Supposedly, I just saw a headline that said that they have discovered where one of their deep underground laboratories are for creating the nuclear bomb. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there next. So that's just a little bit about that war that continues on. When will it end? Will it end? Of course, Netanyahu has wanted to go ahead and take out the supreme leader. President Trump thinks that is a bad idea and is not supporting the assassination. But as Netanyahu said, we will do what we will do. So who knows who will be taken out. They have taken out a lot of the scientists and people that were helping create that nuclear bomb. So are they effectively being shut down on the nuclear bomb? It looks like it. They just don't know what they have in those underground bunkers that they have. And will Russia now go in and destroy those? Thousands upon thousands of people are leaving Tehran trying to get out. President Trump has called for the people to get out. And plus Netanyahu too. Aid is not going in. It really is becoming a desperate situation. So that's a little bit on that topic for those that are not maybe following it closely. This thing in Minnesota where the guy killed the legislators out there. Evidently, I didn't realize this, but evidently he had been to a couple of other places. I guess the one place the couple was not, or the legislator was not at home. So this thing could have been a lot bigger. One of the things that nobody seems to really understand, he had purchased another car, a car off the literally off the street from somebody right after all this, paid him cash, just drove off with the car. However, he did not leave the area. So there's some question about what was he attempting to do. That is the problem. What was he attempting to do? That's about all I know. He made his first appearance in court yesterday. He is under a heavy bond. I don't think he'll be getting out. His wife, I still don't understand the role his wife was playing in this. She had cash, she had passports, but we don't really know what passports. Maybe somebody, maybe somebody, they haven't released it. The only thing I could ever think why they did not arrest his wife with that is because they wanted her out moving around, seeing if she would take them to him. But he is in custody. He's not going anywhere. He was in court yesterday, and this storyline continues. It is interesting to note. One thing we need to remember. Do you remember several years ago at the House and Senate, the Republicans versus the Democrats at the baseball in Washington, D.C. Jeff Duncan was actually, his name was on the list of people to be shot. Steve Scalise was injured very badly, but he is alive and well and still in the House. But this was where this guy was just picking off legislators from up there in the stands, if I remember correctly. So it is a frightening time to stand up and and say what you believe. And if in today's world, it seems if there's somebody that doesn't agree with you, this is a problem. I find it interesting that I think it is today that the Senate, Thune and Speaker of the Senate, Thune and Schumer have called for a meeting on the security of their members. So we'll see how that goes. Were they going to put more money in the budget for more security, or are they just going to be advised on things to do or not do? That would be, I guess, part of the discussion. I don't know. I just found that interesting. Today they're having a meeting on it. And you cannot be too careful. So most of them do have some type of security detail when they're out and about. But it'll be interesting to see if any changes are actually made. All right, so that's a little bit on the national level. Now, I just saw an article where Curtis Loftus said that he would not interfere in this money that is supposed to be given to every legislator, that $1,500, that he is not part of the lawsuit. He is not going to engage in it in any way, shape, or form. So I found that rather another interesting subject. So I'm not sure I found it right now. I was just scrolling through, but Curtis is going to stay out of it. So that's most interesting. That was a news story that had just been posted. But let's see, State House, maybe it's there. We'll look over here. No, I don't see anything on that yet. We're still waiting for a date, I do believe, on when they will hear that case in the Supreme Court of South Carolina. So that's, but that is something that Curtis is, if it goes through, he's just going to write the checks and send it on its way. He's not going to interfere in any way, nor is he part of the lawsuit. All right, so let's move on to talk about City Council last night. City Council. Interesting discussion last night. Interesting discussion. Two things that I thought were pretty interesting. Number one, actually three. Number one, they are in the process here in Greenwood, South Carolina, of putting 2 electrical charger vehicles. Chargers are going to be in Uptown Greenwood. One is going to be near the Bank of America, right, the old Bank of America, which is now, of course, owned by Lander University. There's one that is going to be right in that area, and then one over there by the marketplace. The comment was made, if 96 could have one, shouldn't Greenwood have one? And Julie Wilkie, who is the city manager, said one of the most difficult things that she's ever dealt with on a grant basis was getting these 2 chargers for Greenwood. She said it's just unbelievable what she had to go through in order to make that happen. But it is happening. She said, if I'm remembering correctly, in the next few days we should have 2 chargers for electric vehicles, EVs, right here in Uptown Greenwood. One at the marketplace and one over there by the old Bank of America, which of course is now owned by Lander University. So that's pretty interesting right there. We are going to have chargers right here, and 96 has had them hasn't been for several years. They've had those. All right. Another thing that I found most interesting, they were looking at rezoning a piece of property close to Uptown Greenwood. You may remember where that house was destroyed right there on Maxwell. Is it Maxwell? Yes. Headed out towards Connie Mack out there. If you're headed out, it was on the left. Well, the people that either own the property or have bought the property had put in to have it rezoned. They thought it would be nice to have a storefront on the lower level and then live overhead in the top, and that would require a change in the zoning. I was surprised at how many people stood up and were not for doing this. And the basic reason is because once you zone something, you do not have any control over what actually goes in. The people that were zoning for it thought that having a little company store for all the people that can't get out and don't have cars and this type of thing, this would be a good thing. On the surface, it certainly did seem like a good thing, and seems like it would have been a no-brainer. However, it developed into quite a conversation, and it was, in the end, voted down to not change the zoning in that area. And it was also interesting how many people were there. So that was one issue. The next issue was Dr. Jamal Brooks had asked to speak at the meeting. Of interest, there's several things that are interesting. One of the things that I thought was most interesting is most times when people wish to speak in front of city or county council, they're given 5 minutes. I'm not sure how many minutes Dr. Brooks talked, but it was somewhere around 15 minutes. So they let her talk much longer, and Mayor Brandon Smith said he wanted to give her the opportunity to say everything that she wanted to say. Dr. Jamal Brooks was the person who first approached council probably a couple of months ago, I don't remember exactly when, about a hate crime ordinance here in Greenwood. While it didn't seem to go anywhere at the time. She came this time, and this time she came with quite a group of reinforcements to sit in the audience with her. As this thing progressed, I was interested to see the reaction of the crowd. It almost came across like an amen chorus at a church service. She persisted to saying that communities needed to do these, municipalities to be more correct, and I am paraphrasing this whole discussion for time, need to go ahead and do this, implement an ordinance, a hate crime ordinance. Other areas have done it. Why shouldn't Greenwood? And that is kind of the whole mantra. And then she went on to explain what a hate crime ordinance is. She wanted everybody to not look at her as a black woman, but just as a person. So that was quite a conversation that she had. City Council listened attentively, let her speak, and at the end, she talked about it's for all people, and that the municipal website is something that they should check out. She talked about her running for office, what she learned about it, and that this was something that definitely could be from the ground up, even though the House and Senate at the state level have not taken it up. So, in the end, Mayor Brandon Smith answered this, that the reason they had not done anything, brought forth a ordinance or whatever, is under the advice of council, can't do something unless we have a state law. That is what they put forth. That's what Mayor Brandon Smith put forth in his answer to why they have not done anything. He was very conciliatory about it, but says under the advice of council, you can't do something unless you have a state law, which now makes one wonder these other areas. Oh, that's right. You're listening to WCRS 98.5 FM, 1450 AM, right here in the great city of Greenwood, South Carolina. It is 10 o'clock, which makes one wonder about the legality of these ordinances that have been done in other areas. What was it? Was it Richland or Lexington? Richland County, Lexington. One of the two counties, this is the first one in the state, to have put forth a hate crime ordinance, which must be used in addition to, it's not a standalone charge. And so are those legal? Will those stand up if these counties or cities, municipalities decide to put it forth? That is where that's at. And so that really is at the doorstep of the House and or Senate, both. That law has to be passed first, and then municipalities, according to the advice of council, right here in Greenwood, which is why they have not proceeded with one. Just thought I would bring that up. If you want to go back and watch that, you certainly can. It is on City of Greenwood's Facebook page, and it was a live Facebook. So you might want to check that out. But that is where that is at. Anyways, I'm Ann Eller right here with you this morning. Just trying to make sense of all the things that are going on out there. They also, at City Council, talked about taking funds to to out of the A tax. There's they're going to start on the PALS building. That is one thing that is going to start. There also was a big discussion though about working on the federal building. The Art Center has issues, and they're going to take money out of that. I question. It seems to me that this is a thing that is going forth. In the past, when it came to the capital sales tax project, people waited until their number was up. So they ordered all these projects in order of 1 through 20 something, and you had to wait till that money came in. There seems to be a push now, however, to go ahead and do the projects now, secure the funds that they may have. In the case of the PALS building, they have a healthy balance there. They're going to go ahead and work on that one. In the case of Park Plaza, they're going ahead and doing that one. So it seems like it doesn't really matter if you have an order now. It doesn't seem to matter. And I don't know if you are aware of this, but according to the capital sales tax project, one can issue bonds. I guess this is how this would work. Issue bonds so the projects can go ahead if you have enough money, and then they can collect the capital sales tax to repay for those things. Seems like that's where we're going on this, but it was kind of an unofficial thing. There was the project number 1 is out there at Piedmont Tech. That was for the G. Frank Russell Tech area that they're building out there. So if an entity has the money, or if they can move the money around, they are going ahead and doing that because, quote, everybody knows the prices are going to go up. You know what? That bothers me about that. I'll just say that. We don't know whether the prices are going to go up. The prices are supposed to come down. So what if? This is where the question of, is it good to be making some of these decisions right now? But that aside, everybody uses the excuse that things will only get more expensive. So we better go ahead and do it now. But we don't know that. It's kind of like the price of gas. The price of gas was going up, then the price of gas came down. Now with the war, the price of gas, I guess, is going back up again. Or we could talk about the price of eggs. The price of eggs were high. I guess we should have bought all the eggs we could buy and consume all the eggs because the price of eggs will continue to go up. Well, guess what, folks? The price of eggs came down. Well, when this tariff thing works its way through the system, will prices go down? Will they continue to rise? You don't know that. So that's kind of what if. I'm just throwing this out. I have no crystal ball to tell me the truth. But what if the prices go down? And some of our entities have gone ahead and built things based on the fact that they thought, well, the prices are going to go up, right? So isn't that kind of interesting? I thought that was an interesting point. Do you think that we should be going ahead and working on these projects and moving money around out of fund balances to make it work, and then being repaid by the capital sales tax? There is another side of this that nobody is really even discussing. But we depend in South Carolina on our sales tax, the capital sales tax, to bring us dollars based, a lot of it on tax dollars, on tourist dollars. And of course, out there at the Greenwood Athletic Recreation Facility, Greenwood County Recreation Facility, they're doing great out there. People are coming into town. We got the Festival of Discovery coming up. We got people that travel from all over to these events. But South Carolina as a state depends on tourist dollars. if people decide they are not going to travel, if Canadians are not going to come to South Carolina to go to our beaches and everything, some will always come. But will these capital sales tax funds come in a little slower? Is that possible? I think it is possible. It is something to consider. May not affect it at all. We may go roaring ahead with no problem at all. But then again, it may affect it. So there are a lot of unknowns. That's my bottom line. There's a lot of unknowns about what the future holds. It's just like what County Council has been dealing with. So County Council meeting is this evening. It will be interesting to see what is left in the budget. One of the questions about leaving in the budget is, should the money be left in there for an assistant county manager? It's either 164 or 167,000. I'm not sure which it is. But there was talk last time of leaving that money in the budget. Or should that money be taken out of the budget, and if they decide to move forward with it, just like they do on many occasions, they can do an amendment to the budget and decide what is coming in. I think another thing that is interesting is how they are going to rank things happening with the budget as far as the county goes. So we're moving forward. This meeting tonight will be very interesting. I can tell you that yours truly will be watching it and will want to tell you all about it tomorrow morning. So stay tuned right here on WCRS Radio. Other news out there, let's see, what else did I have that I wanted to talk about? I had a couple other things that I think might be interesting to talk about, if I can get things to move here this morning. I wanted to talk about what's happening out in Texas. Yes, the Toros, the girls are, everybody is finished. The 2000, let's go ahead and get this information up. What have we got? I'm looking for my notes here. The 2011 girls and 2007 boys were knocked out yesterday after their third game, so neither of them played yesterday. Just the 2009 girls that could have won the whole thing and be headed to Florida. Just the 2000 girls. They lost 1-0. It was a heartbreaker. So I think it's a heartbreaker, but my God, they did so well. All of the teams did. It goes to the coaches and the families that keep the kids focused and doing so well. Who did they play yesterday? Who did the 2009 girls play? Let's see. Here it is right here. They played Tennessee against the Tennessee champions. They're one game away from advancing to the national tournament, and they did lose 1-0, but what a game I understand it was, and they really worked hard to do this. If anything, this will only make our teams bigger, better, and stronger, having had that experience. So kudos to them. Now, that is one aspect, and they have had a great time out there. They've seen a lot of things. They've done a lot of activities. We are looking forward to having the gals and the guys on the radio one afternoon after they get back to tell us more about what is happening, what happened. So that's kind of where we're at there. Other things that I wanted to make sure that we knew about is last night They had a good game at the American Legion. It was Veterans Appreciation Night. Scoreless the first 3 innings. Golden Strip scored 1 run in the top of the 4th inning and another run in the 5th. Greenwood Post 20 scored 1 run in the 6th inning and 2 in the bottom of the 7th to take the game 3-2. Next game is this Friday night at 7 p.m. versus Golden Strip Post 271. And they said, please come out and support your American Legion baseball. And I think that's a good thing. Take the family, take the kids, have a great time. Admission is $7 for adults. Students 12 to 17, $5. Students 6 to 11, $1. Under 5 is free. And they have a very economical concession stand. Hot dogs, barbecue sandwiches, popcorn, pickles, candy, soft drinks, sweet teas, and lots of other items. So that will be out at the American Legion baseball field in out there at the Greenwood County Recreation Center, a.k.a. the Wilbank Center, a.k.a. the Civic Center location. Sorry, I just had to do that. All right, Bob Menendez is getting ready to report to federal prison. He received an 11-year sentence for having all those gold bars and all his peddling influence that he was doing. He was convicted of that. He, of course, is from New Jersey. And I think, yes, he's from New Jersey, and he got an 11-year sentence. And he is just reporting to federal prison. So that's a little bit about what is going on. Anything else we wanted to talk about here this morning? This afternoon we will have what is this? Okay, I don't know. All right, we'll have to check that out after. I thought that was something for today. We will have to, okay, I've lost my train of thought. All right. This afternoon, Rosalind Burke, the Veterans Affairs officer, will be joining us with us to talk about a lot of things going over there. It's always a fascinating conversation when we sit down and talk to Rosalind. One of the things we always do talk about, and I'm sure we'll be talking about it this afternoon, is how many dollars that Veterans Center brings into Greenwood, into our area. So when we look at that beautiful facility there and all the things that go on over there at the Veterans Center, it really is a good thing. It really is a good thing that that we have that center, that it's convenient and easy, and they do so many things for veterans right out of that building right there. And of course, since they built since they had the new monuments to each branch of the service, the tablets there, it really looks spectacular. So Veterans Appreciation Day is coming up, I think, June 16th from 11 to 2, so that'll be going on. And then, of course, the it's not appreciation, it's the veterans ceremony where we honor our veterans in August will be coming up too. So that's another thing that's going on. What else, Ann, do you have so that you can finish up here? I had some cool things to talk about. Tuesday, today, June 17th, and Wednesday, June 18th, out there at the Burton Center, they have a plant sale beginning at 10 a.m. Signs will direct you to purchase area. Pickling cucumber plants, Better Boy tomato plants, beefsteak tomato plants, zucchini, yellow squash plants, and flowers are all available out there at the Burton Center. So that is today, and tomorrow starts at 10 o'clock today, and I believe 10 o'clock tomorrow. What else is going on? Also, this afternoon at County Council, Kelly Lowry will be in the building giving them an update on the Conisty Dam. They have now completed the roller concrete portion of the new dam. They've got a some type of wall, and training walls are all we have left to do. Thank goodness we're almost there. So this has been a huge project. Took a while to get it off the ground with all the permitting and all the things that they had to get done before they could start. But it looks like, if I'm understanding this, this is almost done. So this is a great project, and of course will save our lakes and the area up there, but also Lake Greenwood, because the water came right down here. Thank goodness Dane Pruitt was the one that first brought this to everybody's attention. Billy Garrett brought it to Alexander down there and the Senate, and the rest, I guess we could say, is history. Money was put together for a study. That study led to the fact of, oh my God, we've got to get this done, and money was put in the budget. And the last time I talked to Kelly Lowry, he said they would be coming in under budget. So that is another good thing. So what else did I have here? This is something I didn't know anything about. Do you know about this? This person, Sally Alberting, this is in the All Things Greenwood. She said she's a proud alumni member of Lander. We'd like to introduce ourselves to the Greenwood area. Wildlife Geeks brings the zoo to you for the best birthday parties, schools, homeschools, churches, civics events, employee, family gatherings, scouts, senior living centers, including memory care, special needs groups, summer camps, etc., etc. We are in our 10th year and are USDA certified, vet inspected, and fully insured. So important. You get to experience our animal friends from around the world in the ultimate hands-on adventure. We are also offering special individual encounters with our new baby ringtail lemur, Julian, and another animal. Check out our website, wildlifegeeks.com, or reach out to them. So there you go. That is something that sounds pretty cool in our area. It's called Wildlife Geeks, and it's wildlifegeeks.com. I thought I'd give them a shout out. That looks pretty interesting as far as something to do. Now, the Humane Society has their affordable spay and neuter clinic. The next one coming up is next Tuesday, June 24th. Then they will have one Tuesday, July 22nd, and Tuesday, August 26th. So they'll be doing spay and neuter, plus they do a lot of other things, everything from cat vaccination, dogs vaccination, heartworm testing, microchips, nail trims. They have a whole thing that they are doing right there at the Humane Society. Carolina Place Animal Hospital Mobile Spays and Neuter Clinic actually comes in to do the spay and neuter, and they can do a lot of them in one day. So if you have an animal that is about time to do something about this, you don't want to have any puppies or kittens. I also understand they spay rabbits. Rabbits can be spayed too, folks, and you know that that's a good thing to do, to spay those rabbits. I didn't realize they were spay and neuter. I didn't realize that many people had rabbits as pets, but evidently they do. Another thing I wanted to mention is free summer meals for kids. This is a summer food program, June 2nd through July 18th, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 to 12, at the Edgewood Community Center right there in 96. All kids and teens 18 and under eat free. No sign-ups, no ID. Just show up and grab your meal. They give a contact number of Dorsey Miller, 864-337-6980. That is the Edgewood Community Center at 200 Edgewood Street right there in 96. They are providing meals for those from all kids and teens 18 and under. So that is another good thing. We also know that our school system here provides lunch meals, also another really good thing. So these are the things that are out there. I hope that you have a good day. I hope that you're going to tune in this afternoon to hear Rosalind Burke right here on WCRS. She is the Veterans Affairs Officer. And tune into, that's at 5 o'clock. The Greenwood County Council meeting starts at 5:30. They will have, that is on YouTube. So you can find it on YouTube. You can also go right there to the county website to see that. This is going to be an important meeting. It is about the budget. So that's that'll be going on Wednesday afternoon. We're going to have Representative John McCravey is going to be on talking about all things that he thinks there's a lot of problems down there in our state government, and John McCravey is going to be talking about that, as well as the pay increase and so much more. This is going to be an interview you won't want to miss with Representative John McCravey. That is Wednesday afternoon. And on Thursday, this meeting is going to be, I'm going to use the word huge. That's right. We are going to have who? Toby Chappell, our county manager, and Theo Lane, chairman of county council, will join me for a sit down. I'm sure we'll talk about the budget, all things covering the county right here on WCRS. If you have any questions that you'd like me to ask, go ahead and let me know as I get ready for this. I just need to make sure I'm ready with the questions and where they're headed on some of these issues that affect all of us. So I'll give that number one more time. You can call and leave a message, or you can text 864-229-7984. That's 864-229-7984. So that is a good question that somebody just asked me. So we'll go ahead and talk about that on the meeting that we're going to have right here on WCRS with County Manager Toby Chappell and with County Chairman Theo Lane. I'm Ann Eller. This is WCRS Radio. I hope you all have a good day. I hope you'll let me know what's going on, because you know I need to be in the loop so I can report on stuff. And Penny is saying, it's about time you get off the air. I want my breakfast. So we're going to say I do. That's going to do it for me. Have a great day. This is WCRS Radio. Bye-bye, everybody.